Hello everybody, I hope you are all having an amazing week. Oh my god, you guys, this Q&A is gonna be so crazy. We have 15 questions. 15, I could not choose, you guys. We're blowing up my Snapchat, blowing up my Instagram, blowing up like literally everything. It was so crazy this week. If you guys are new to Ask Kimberly Q&As, here's what happens. Every single week on Instagram, I put out a surprise post calling for relationship questions, and then you guys go crazy in the comments. And every single Friday here on YouTube, I dish the dirt answering those questions. And guys, we have so much fun. It's a much longer video than my normal videos, so we have like a ton of fun. And I answer all kinds of questions, like from relationships to dating to friendships to personal questions about myself. And I think these are like the most fun videos that we have. So today's video is going to be super awesome. So make sure you are subscribed to Ask Kimberly. Click that little bell for notifications. And of course, make sure you are following me on Instagram so that you don't miss the next post for the Q&A for questions. So guys, I have a brand new PO box and stuff is starting to flow in. So in next week's Q&A is going to be the first time I actually start reading letters from the PO box, and I'm so excited to do that because the letters you guys are sending so far are so cute. So without further ado, are you guys ready to get into this video? Are you ready for the 15 questions that we're gonna do? I'm excited, so let's get right into it. Okay, question number 1 is from Emily Feemster. She says, who do you think is gonna win next season of The Bachelor? By the way, I love you. This question was from Facebook. This question was from Instagram. Whoops. After we talked about attraction in the super cute video, you guys were grilling me about who I thought was gonna win next season of The Bachelor because I have like a bit of a hidden talent or gift for identifying like the winners and the runner-ups of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I do this through body language, so based on all body language cues I've seen as of now, I think that Rachel is going to win next season of The Bachelor. If she doesn't win, I believe she is at least going to be the runner-up because based on his body language, I think he's totally into her. I want to know what you guys think though. Let me know if you think she's gonna win in the comments below. Okay, question 2. That was good. That was easy. Who said I love you first, you or Nathan? If you, how did you know 100% that you loved him? Love your vids. Love Jessie J2581. Okay, so actually the truth is, guys, I don't actually remember who said I love you first, me or Nathan. We have been together now over 10 years. We've been married for over 5 years, but I do remember our first conversation about this, like when we both said the kind of like L word, and it was really romantic actually. It was like, I don't know, like maybe like a month after we met. We met on July 9th in a nightclub using the 5th. You guys know the story if you've seen it. And we were up at a cottage and we were having so much fun with a bunch of people that we knew, and the two of us like made our way down to the dock and we were kind of like looking up at the stars, and we ended up on this conversation about like how we had only known each other for so long, but that our feelings were like really strong for each other, and obviously we were both feeling the same way. We were talking about what was going to happen when I went back to school to finish my master's, because obviously like it was going to be long distance for a year, and it was totally fine. I don't actually remember like who said the L word first. It was obviously a very romantic moment and something that meant a lot to both of us, and obviously the relationship has now stood the test of time. So I will always remember that night on the dock. I thought it was like so much fun and so cute. Question number 3 is from Lyd Renler. Here she says, what is your most awkward date story? Love your vids. They are always so insightful. Keep up the good work. I was thinking about this a little bit before just now, and you guys have heard about like my worst date story, but this one is about like the most awkward date story. And the truth is, I think my first date was actually probably my most awkward date. I mean like my first real date. This happened when I was 16 and my date was 18, and I was in grade 11. He was in something called OAC. It's like grade 13 that we used to have in Ontario. I think like the date didn't necessarily go badly because he asked me out again, but I felt awkward. I felt awkward because I think I was like nervous about the date, like just nervous about a lot of things. Like I obviously like was 16, I hadn't really come into my own skin yet, and like I wasn't feeling totally confident about myself. Like I didn't really know how this guy felt about me, but basically the gist of the date was that this guy who I had a huge crush on at school asked me if I would go on a date with him on a Friday night. We went to the mall and we saw a movie called She's All That with, I think it was like Rachel Lee Cook and Freddie Prinze Jr. And you guys know that song I was talking about, Kiss Me? It's like, kiss me beneath the milky twilight, lead me. That is the theme song to that movie. So we went and saw this like super romantic movie, and I remember that being really awkward because I was like, they're like kissing on the screen, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like it was just really awkward. Like I didn't know this guy, and here we are like sitting side by side in a theater, and no one knows like what to say. We can't talk to each other because we're sitting in a theater. I don't know, I felt like that was like a bit of an awkward choice for a first date, but after the movie, we went to Tim Hortons, which is which is like a Canadian, a hallmark Canadian date place. I think like first dates are awesome at Tim Hortons or Starbucks or any kind of coffee shop is good because you can sit down and like at this point in the day we actually like looked at each other in the face and we were able to like talk a little bit and get to know each other a little bit better because we didn't go to the same school, we went to different schools and we met in a tech class. But I had a really big crush on him and I thought he was really nice and he was super cute. The end of this story is actually really funny how it all went down. So after our first date, I don't think there was a kiss. No, there wasn't a kiss on the first date, but I really had a good time and I was like, oh, I hope he asks me out again. But then a whole week went by and I saw him but he didn't ask me out again. And then on the Friday of the following week, he called me after school, so it was like almost Friday night. Do you want to go to the mall with me? Like I need to buy something. It was weird. It was like I almost understood dating principles at the age of 16 because I said to him, no, I already have plans. Even now I look back at that moment and I'm like, bravo Kim, like good job. If you're willing to drop everything just to go on a date with someone or just for someone else, I feel like it shows that you're not really like that secure in who you are. And I had already made plans with a girlfriend of mine and I didn't want to cancel them. I wasn't gonna be like, sorry girl, like I have a date, like he just asked me out at the last minute. So yeah, I told him no and I don't know if he may have been like offended by that, but the end of the story is we never went out again. But I'm still really happy with the way that I handled that. Like I don't know if he was looking for someone that was like, yeah, I don't really know what his intentions were, but he was a really nice guy and I was really glad that I had my first date with him. However, it was a little bit awkward and dating got better from there for me. So that is my most awkward date story. Do you guys have any awkward dating stories? I want to hear what they are in the comments below. Question 4 is, I don't know your name, but you say, how much should it matter if your friends like your boyfriend or girlfriend? Featuring my sister. Oh, that's so cute. Love your vids. Okay guys, it is very convenient when your friends like your boyfriend or girlfriend. So if they kind of like fit into your group of friends, it can make your life a lot easier, a lot more hassle-free because, you know, they fit in and they get along with each other and like life is good. However, if your friends don't like your boyfriend or girlfriend, or if your boyfriend or girlfriend doesn't really like your friends, the most important thing for you is that you like the person you're dating. The rest of the world, like it's not really any of their business. So if you truly feel like this person is the right one for you, if they treat you well, if you have great conversations, if they bring out a wonderful side of you, then what everybody else thinks is kind of irrelevant. That might seem like a bit of a harsh way to look at it, but the truth is you're the one that has to spend time with this person. You're the one that has to put up with them. So as long as you are gung-ho about them, that is all that matters. That's the Ask Kimberly answer for that one, guys. Does that make sense? Hope that answers the question. Oh, you guys are so cute. The next question is from Mr. Power. They say, hey Kim, I love you so much. Okay, my question is, how did you learn to sing? I want to be a singer, but I'm really afraid that my voice will never improve and I will never be able to achieve my dreams. Help, please. Oh my gosh. Okay, so of course you can be a singer, and if you practice hard, I believe you can totally do it. Singing is totally subjective. Some of the most famous singers don't have the most objectively trained or like pitch perfect voices, but they have so much personality and they have so much charisma. So I think that's actually the most important part of performing. For me, I started singing when I was super little because my grandmother was actually a music teacher in India, which is where she lived. My whole mom's side of the family is from India, and they all came to Canada when my mom was a little girl. So right from the time I was a little girl, my grandmother taught me how to sing, and so I had my first singing like TV appearance when I was 6. I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and from there I continued training all through my entire life. So I did like singing lessons and choir and performances and competitions and all that kind of stuff because I just loved to sing so much. The other thing I loved to do was musicals, so plays and things where I could like perform and sing with other people who also loved to sing as well. I went to musical theater camp when I was in high school, which I loved. And then after all of that, you guys, I was in a Canadian pop band starting at the age of 18 where we actually, it was like a 3-girl group, kind of like the Spice Girls, or like, I'm trying to think of like other groups that you might know, like All Saints maybe, Little Mix, Pussycat Dolls, kind of like that kind of thing. So the 3 of us, we toured around Canada and the US for about 3 years. We did shows, we opened for other, like a lot more prominent acts than us. And so I got like a ton of experience singing, being in the studio, and meeting other artists. You know what, if you hang tight for 1 second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get something. I was just at my parents' over the holidays, and I actually found this book that I haven't seen in years. This is my photo album from when I was in the girl group, and I found some like hilarious pictures in here that I'm gonna show you guys. Oh, you guys might know her. Okay, so this is us. Okay, guys, by the way, let me know if you want a whole like story time video on all my experiences in Untamed, because it was so much fun. This is us with Jennifer Love Hewitt. This is like me, Daniela, and Jennifer Love Hewitt. That was at the Kiss 92 Fanny, so we were presenting an award. Oh, you know him, Aaron Carter. So that's us with Aaron Carter. I feel like we met him a few times, one of which was at the Grammy after parties. Do you guys know Sean Desmond? Sean Desmond and Sean's little brother, Danny Fernandez, were pretty instrumental in our time as a group. Daniel, at the time we called him, used to be one of our dancers, and now he's like a kind of like his own Canadian pop act, and Sean as well. But we knew Sean since the very beginning of our girl group days. We were with the same producer, so that was a really big deal. This picture is a picture of our group, okay? I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna hold it right up to the camera. Okay, that's me in the middle. Can you guys see this? Can you see that? This picture was taken at the height of my body image issues. In this picture, I thought I was like a whale. I'm not even kidding you. I think we seriously need to talk about like bodies and body image on this channel, because really? And I was embarrassed to be wearing what I was because I was so self-conscious. This is the last one I'll show you, but there's more, okay? This is the very last one I'm gonna show you. This is none other than Queen Bee herself, Beyonce. And that's me, Alethea and Daniela, and Queen Bee. And this picture was taken when Beyonce first started her solo career. So like just when she was coming out of Destiny's Child, and she was performing like as a solo artist for the very first time. We also met her sister Solange, and we sang for her, which was really a cool experience. Singing is such a huge part of my life. I think that singing music in general is such an amazing way to express yourself. So if you love to sing, don't stress so much about like the sound of your voice or like what others might hear when they hear you. Just focus on the own art of it, like the art of it for you and how it makes you feel. Sing the songs you love that are easy for you to sing, that feel good for you, and then you can make singing like a really enjoyable experience. I hope that answers the question. Okay, so question 6 is from Maria H. She says, hi Kimberly, so I've liked this guy for a little while and he's my friend. Pretty much everyone ships us. When they ship us while we're talking, he usually groans or laughs at us. Oh my god, this sounds so mortifying. What does this mean? Also, I love your vids, they're extremely helpful. A lot of you ask questions like this. People will be like, oh, you guys are so adorable, be in a relationship, even though you're not in a relationship. So it's kind of embarrassing, but you kind of almost want it to happen because you're like, oh, if they say that, like maybe my crush will ask me out, or like maybe he'll realize that we're like really cute together and that everyone wants to ship us. If he groans or laughs it off, it doesn't mean that he doesn't like you, but it could mean that he's embarrassed. It could mean that he likes you and he's embarrassed. It could be a number of things. These types of situations make it really easy for you to take matters into your own hands. You know what? Next time people ship you and he kind of groans or laughs it off, you can take him aside and be like, you know what? I kind of think they're right. And just see where that goes. So you can put it out there and see if he reciprocates it as well. But it's a great kind of jumping off point for you to actually let him know that you might feel the same way too. This next question is from Jessie is a Ninja 4. She says, hi, I love your videos. What are some super cute date ideas for a couple of college students on a budget? We've watched several movies and tried bowling and ice skating. I feel like there's not too many things to do in my town. Help. This is an amazing question. There are so many dates that you can do without spending a whole lot of money. And I actually think the best dates are the ones where you don't spend a super amount of money, because they don't need to be super extravagant and expensive. It's more about the two of you getting to know each other. Obviously, you guys know I love ice cream dates. It's probably my favorite kind of date. You can plan a picnic and go on like a little hike and then open up the picnic when you get to like a really nice viewpoint. You can try going to a board game cafe where they have like little board games. If you don't have a board game cafe in your city, you can actually bring a board game to a cafe and do it there. That's super fun. You can go antique or thrift shopping and look for some really unique treasures. You can go to an escape room, which I would probably find super scary, but I think that's like a really fun idea to like work together to solve a puzzle and be scared at the same time. Obviously, my very first date ever with Nathan was mini putting, and I thought that was a really good experience because we were doing an activity. It was very inexpensive, so there wasn't a lot of commitment there, but you're also able to look at each other in the face, and if you want to get really romantic, you can even like help the other person like practice their way and like show them how to do it. So that can give you some kind of like touch and contact in order to kind of like up the ante romantically. Yeah, so hopefully that gives you some inspiration. But if you guys want, I can do an entire video on like just date ideas. I think that would be super fun. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so the next question is from Charms You Mile. I don't know how to say this one either. Hi Kimberly, I love you so much. Need your help. I'm close friends with a guy at work and we are totally platonic with each other. I hang out with him one weekend and suddenly he kissed me. Oh my god. I kind of liked it and responded positively on the kiss. My worry is that he just broke up with his girlfriend and I was thinking he was just sad or lonely, just wanted comfort or having a moment of weakness. Please help. This is kind of driving me nuts and I'm scared to ask him what the kiss meant. This is basically a question on if you are somebody's rebound and wanting to know if they've just broken up with someone, like what the meaning is it if they make a move on you. I would recommend not getting too worried because they are the one that needs to decide if they're ready to move on, and really you can't really have insight into how they feel about their past relationship. I mean, that relationship could have been over long before it was actually over. So I wouldn't stress too much about this, but if you are curious about what the kiss meant, I'd suggest the best thing is to just ask and be like, I really liked what happened the other night. Like, what was that all about? You can do it in a flirtatious way, in a way that's like not confrontational. It's not gonna put them on the spot. And you can even say like, I want to do it again sometime and kind of like invite the opportunity to like make that moment happen again if that's what you want. Number 9 is from Emma Sater. She says, howdy Kimberly, I identify as asexual and I'm not really looking for a relationship, nor have I ever had one, more than just platonic ones or little flings. But I'm about to go to college next year and I'm afraid that people won't accept me or will want to force me into relationships, and honestly I'm kind of nervous because it feels like everyone in college is dating. Any advice? Oh my gosh, Emma. So ask Kimberly fam. I feel like you guys are gonna know what my answer to this one is gonna be based on all the videos you've watched. Obviously, it doesn't matter what your sexuality, whatever category you fall into, you don't have to have a relationship. And if people try to pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do, you really just don't have to do it. And you don't have to feel bad, you don't have to feel like you're abnormal. Like, everybody gets into relationships at different times in their life and is ready for that at different times in their lives. And if this is not something that you want, like if you'd rather focus on your studies or your friends or your hobbies, like go for it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, a lot of people do use college as like a way to start dating or a way to meet new people. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that side of things either, but I think that the message here is that everyone has a different preference, and it's totally fine if you decide that a relationship isn't something that you want to invest in right now. Like, it is totally up to you, and you know yourself better than anyone else. So even if it's like your mom or your sister or your best friend that's like, why don't you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? You know, sometimes it's about developing like a canned response to the people and being like, oh, I'm focusing on my studies right now, or oh, I haven't met anybody worth my time yet, just to kind of get them to back off and allow you to do you. Question 10, you guys, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's from Alessa M. Ferretti and the question is, do you know what the law of attraction is? Is it something that you believe in? Do you believe in energies, positive and negative ones? P.S. I love you endlessly so much. Aww, that's so sweet. Yes. Alessa, I love the law of attraction. There's some amazing books out there about the law of attraction, and I can honestly say that I have been reading about the law of attraction for so many years. Some people think it's like hocus pocus, and whatever, you can think whatever you want. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I truly believe in it. And basically what the law of attraction is that you attract the things to you that you want if you put energy and focus into it. And for me, the very first time I used the law of attraction was when I decided, well, first I read the book The Secret and I watched the movie, and that really influenced me. So if you guys have Netflix, you should just watch The Secret because it's a really, really inspirational kind of docu-film that can teach you how to use the law of attraction. I would highly recommend it. The Secret movie that's on Netflix is the one that influenced me when I first decided that I wanted to do my doctorate. This was like way back when, before I even started. After watching that movie, I realized that I wanted to do my doctorate abroad because I wanted the experience of traveling the world and seeing new places. So I ended up completing my doctorate overseas in London, England at Middlesex University, and I did so many trips back and forth to London. I loved it so much. It's such a huge part of my life, all the people that I know and met over there. And since then, I have always believed in the law of attraction. Every single year, I write my goals on a piece of paper, and I write like crazy goals. Like, they're always super ambitious, but I always surprise myself that every single year, more than half of the goals I actually accomplish. I always write the goals to purposely be extravagant, but then I always surprise myself with how much I'm able to accomplish. So I really believe that the law law of attraction works and that setting goals is like a really, really important part of success. So guys, go watch The Secret movie right now. It's so good. Question 11 is from Hadar Hartman. She says, hey Kimberly, I've been dealing with a lot lately and I was wondering what advice do you have for dealing with stress? Love you. Dealing with stress can be so tough. I think there are a lot of different types of stress. Sometimes it can be like emotional stress, like something difficult is going on in your life. Sometimes it can be like kind of anxiety type stress where maybe you have a lot of projects and you have like fear that underlies all of it. Sometimes it can be even physical stress if you're not getting enough sleep or if you're challenging your body too much or if you're working crazy hours. The best advice I have for dealing with stress, which I have implemented into my own life as well, is taking very, very good care of yourself. I mean, the first thing obviously is trying to identify what the cause of stress is and trying to eliminate as many parts of that stress as possible. Like obviously a little bit of stress is fine, and obviously there's certain things that we can't ignore. So if you're stressed out over exams, for example, that's totally normal. You can't eliminate exams. So for example, if you're stressed because you've taken on way too many activities, maybe you want to re-examine which of those things you want to cut back on so that you can make your schedule more manageable. Aside from making those changes, I think that self-care is so instrumental. So knowing when you need a break, knowing how to eat properly, knowing how to kind of relax your mind and body in a way that is healthy for you. One thing I love to do to relieve stress is actually take baths because it gives me a time where I literally can't use my phone because I'm in the bath and there's water, but also like I'm kind of like away from the world's problems. And that's just like a time for me where I get to fully relax and just like be by myself, and there's nothing more stress-free than that. Question number 12 is from Jess Maddie. What made you want to help people with their relationship problems? This is a great question. I have always wanted to help people with their relationship problems. Relationships have always been a passion of mine, but I'm interested in all kinds of relationships, like not just specifically couples. Like you guys know, I've worked with a lot of married couples and like couples who are young as well, but I also love working with like friendship relationships and mother-daughter relationships and your relationship with yourself. So my own counseling focuses on kind of like all kinds of relationships. And I think the reason why I'm passionate about this is because I fully believe that relationships are like the foundation of life. Like literally everything in our entire life is made up of the relationships that we have. Like without that, there would be no life. Like nothing would be fun, nothing would be exciting, nothing would be romantic. Like relationships are the essence of everything that we are as humans. And so if we learn how to manage those correctly, if we learn how to be masters of relationships, we can basically master anything. And that's the absolute truth. So that is why I'm passionate about relationships. I just love them. I love studying it and I love helping you guys so much. I especially love doing this because I just love our little community so much. It's amazing. Question 13 is from the Life of a Butterfly. She says, how can I have a good relationship when dealing with depression, anxiety, or any other mental illness? I'm kind of confused because you always say to be confident to have a good relationship. I don't want to be single forever. Please help. That is a great question. Yes, it is possible to have a relationship if you have some kind of other clinical issue going on. However, you guys know, I believe that in order to be in a relationship, you should be the best version of yourself and you should be feeling good about yourself before you enter into any relationship. So if you are dealing with something clinical like depression or anxiety or a mental illness, I think, in my opinion, it's really important to actually seek the help of a mental health professional like a psychologist, get a diagnosis, and actually enter into some therapy. Through this process, you can learn more about yourself, you can learn more about how to manage what's going on in your life, and that can set the stage for you being like in a stable place where you can actually feel good about entering into a relationship. Because when you're dealing with depression, anxiety, or mental illness, adding a relationship on top of that can feel super overwhelming and may distract you from some of the things that are going on in your life. I would highly recommend looking after yourself first, of course with the help of a professional, and then figuring out what kind of relationship you want to be in when you are ready. I hope that helps. Alright guys, number 14 is from Jacqueline. She says, you are gorgeous, Kimberly. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. I actually recognize Jacqueline from her Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. She does some awesome stuff over there. You should check her out. She says, you are gorgeous, Kimberly. Thank you. I never seem to get my questions answered, but I'll ask anyways. Do you think it is possible to find a date by Valentine's Day? I don't really have too many guys that I'm talking to. Thanks, ask Kimberly. If you are watching this on the day that comes out, you still have a few more days before Valentine's Day. Yeah, and absolutely, there's still time to find a date for Valentine's Day if you really want to have a date on Valentine's Day. I have literally seen so many first dates happen on Valentine's Day, and that can be an amazing time for a first date with someone or a blind date. So if you're old enough using online dating or a dating app, for example Tinder, to find yourself like a date to go on Valentine's Day, that can be really romantic. But guys, if not, not, if you don't have a date, if you don't have a blind date, if you don't have like a dating app date, you don't need to go on a date. You can also have like a girls' night out or a night where you treat yourself, so like a massage or something amazing. You guys know that I love Valentine's Day as a day, but it's also not the end of the world if you don't have anything planned for that day. And the bonus of not having anything planned is that you can come and hang out with me because guys, on Tuesday, which is Valentine's Day, I am going to be doing a live stream over on Instagram. I will leave the link to my Instagram here so you guys can go follow me so that you make sure you are ready for that live stream. It is happening at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday the 14th, Valentine's Day, and I'm really excited. I think we're gonna have so much fun. I'm gonna have some friends over. Nathan will be here. We're all gonna have like popcorn and stuff, and it's gonna be so fun. So let me know if you are in down below, and I'll see you there. All right, you guys, we are on to the very last question, and I am so happy. This is from Asma. Asma is so sweet. She is like the queen of Twitter. She's always on my Twitter. I always notice her over there, and she says, not relationship advice, but school advice. How do you stay motivated all throughout your schooling? Like, what kept you going when you felt the world was ending? LOL, I want to be a doctor too, but an MD. Love you, love you, love you. Hashtag Ask Kimberly. Oh my gosh, Asma, this is a great question. And congratulations that you want to be an MD. That is certainly a very noble educational path, one that I'm sure will be super rewarding for you. What I can tell you guys is that I had so many moments during my 14 years of university education where I really felt like I was going to give up, like especially in the last few years of my doctorate, because as you guys know, my doctorate was 7 years long, and that's the average amount of time that it takes for someone to finish a doctorate in psychology, so it's like really long and drawn out, and there were so many moments where it was like there was just like another thing that had to happen, and then another thing went wrong, and then another thing, and like I actually truly believe that the most important part of the entire education process for me was actually tenacity, like having the will to say like I have to keep going despite all the things that are going wrong. That was what distinguished the people who were able to finish from the people who weren't able to finish, was like not intelligence. You know, I think there was like a base intelligence or a base level of knowledge required, but it was so much more about like how hard those people were willing to fight for their education. I'd strongly encourage you to do that too. Like, just know that you can do this. To get an MD is so noble. Like, you're gonna help so many people. And the other thing that really helped me, I know this is gonna sound so weird, is that I had a vision. I imagined a picture of myself on my graduation day in my robe with the president of my school. And every time I'd get discouraged, I would think about that picture that was going to happen and me in my robe and like how happy graduation day would be. And it just did the trick to like help me keep working. And I got that picture, and it's right here. I'm gonna put it right here so you guys can see it. This is the picture that was taken on my actual convocation day. I couldn't be happier. It was such a proud moment to finish all of it. But if you guys are in school and you need that extra motivation, like I can tell you that finishing school is like the most rewarding thing, because you know fully that you did it. Like no one else did it for you. You did it, and you should feel super proud of that. All right, you guys, I hope you love this Q&A. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for sticking around for all 15 questions. Let me know like if you like the 15 question thing, if we should keep doing it, or if you want to stick with 10. Whatever you guys like, I will do, because I am your humble servant. So guys, do not forget to subscribe to Ask Kimberly. Click that little notification bell. Obviously follow me on Instagram, and I will see you next time for more weekly videos on relationships. I love you so much, guys. Mwah!